Hello, welcome back to OW Gaming. I'm Kyle Brodsky, and with me today is...
Hi everybody, Sean again. Today's show we're going to be discussing Batman and the Arkham series because it is Batman's 80th anniversary. Actually, today is his actual 80th anniversary, so that's why we wanted to talk about Batman today. Kyle?
All right, the Arkham games were like this crazy phenomenon that just came out of nowhere for the early Xbox 360. No one thought it was going to do well. They thought it was going to be pretty much like all the other superhero games since goddamn...
Those crappy Spider-Man games?
Nah, man, it has to start with like Superman 64.
Oh my god.
You remember that? Had to go in all the rings.
I do.
There was like one good Spider-Man game, but...
I would say those PlayStation 2 games are solid.
Yeah, but then there's this Batman game. It was like everything you ever wanted from the Batman comics expanded and turned into its own little universe.
And it was like a Metroidvania game too. You had like, you explore Arkham Asylum, you get all the upgrades as you go through. It was incredible. And it had all the people brought back from the animated series also.
Yeah, like you had Mark Hamill doing his legendary just Joker.
Kevin Conroy, his legendary Batman. Even the original Harley Quinn voice actress. They didn't have Tara Strong at that time. It was the original person. I'm surprised she didn't come back from City, but
yeah,
it's a different topic.
But like Arkham Asylum was like the game that was Batman. When you were fighting, you felt like Batman was punching all these people.
It definitely I would say it transformed superhero gaming.
Yeah, well, because it made...
I would even say it even transforms like superheroes in general because it made it popular again. You know what I mean? Like, I think
it came out like right before the Marvel movies really started rolling.
I think it came out right around the time The Dark Knight came out.
Yeah, it really pushed forward because first of all, it was the Arkham Asylum, and especially City, which was like a direct sequel to Asylum, really felt like its own type of comic book world that got influence from the full comics. Like they used the heroes, the villains from the original comic books for just Batman, and it felt fresh and new, but it still felt Batman.
Exactly.
Like, all of Asylum and all of City, you're tracking down, you're actually doing detective work. You're doing the Batman feel with sneaking around, being scary. When you upgrade certain points, you can literally make Batman so intimidating that lesser thugs would just go, hey, no, I ain't messing with this, and walk away.
It's awesome. And even the cool thing about Asylum too was like you could see the city, like see Gotham City from where you are. It's like, oh, I want to go there so bad, and I want to explore the city. And then in City, they give you like a good portion, like it's a solid portion. It wasn't honestly, I didn't enjoy running around in City like I do in Night.
So I loved running around. City was my favorite one out of like the four of them.
My favorite is Night.
City was
even a question.
City was my favorite. It just because that one was a Batman game. All right, that one was just Batman.
Well, that was because also Asylum and City were written by Paul Dini, who wrote all of the animated series episodes, and he wrote the Emmy Award-winning Cold Heart.
Yeah. So first of all, the writing was fantastic.
Yeah,
the whole plot of Bruce Wayne getting thrown in and then having to transform back into Batman to go discover. Not only was there the regular storyline with dealing with Joker and Harley.
I felt more of a side. I've replayed the game recently, and that felt more of like a side story that merged into a real story at the end.
Yeah, but that was like, if you think about it, there were so many other villains.
Yeah,
like you had to deal with
Penguin, Two-Face, even though Two-Face kind of got thrown to the side.
Well, Two-Face was his own little separate thing with Catwoman too.
Yeah, but in the beginning he was with Batman at first.
Yeah, but then there was the whole thing with Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, that was great.
There was a whole
Talia also.
The crocodile shows up again, but that wasn't.
That was like an Easter egg though.
Yeah, that was an Easter egg.
You wouldn't know that if you didn't go back. I heard that you can't only trigger that after you do a certain thing.
But there was also the Mad Hatter, one of the probably lesser known Batman villains.
Yeah, even what about Hush?
Oh yeah, Hush was there too. I always forget about Hush. Victor Zsasz actually got a really nice spotlight.
Deadshot too.
Deadshot. And then they just expanded on the story of Arkham Asylum. It felt like a natural progression of game systems because Arkham Asylum was a small, compact prison area, and it felt like that. But City definitely felt like you were jumping, gliding around. It felt open world. It felt like a city that just got taken over by literally everyone who's crap.
And it probably had some of the best twists in a video game ever.
Oh my God, those twists.
I don't really want to spoil them for people who haven't played it, but it was some of the best twists in a game ever.
And they just stuck perfectly to the comic material.
Yep, perfect.
Like you couldn't, like when you saw Talia show up and act the way she did, it was exactly like her in the comics.
Exactly. It was great. It was such a great game. City is really a great game. But let's talk about the other ones though, besides City and Asylum. I loved Origins also.
You are an awful person.
I am not an awful person. Origins was a great game.
Origin was a buggy mess that had like a. The only thing I loved about Origins was the guy that got the voice act Black Mask, because that was hilarious. Because Black Mask is the weirdest goddamn villain.
Well, he's gonna be the villain of the new Birds of Prey movie, so get used to it.
Yeah,
Played
no.
by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I know Ian McGregor.
So I liked that. Speaking of spoiler, that twist, you end up finding out that Black Mask is actually
Jason Todd.
no.
No, what's
Black Mask was actually the Joker in that game.
Oh,
Come on, Kyle.
I completely forgot. I hated Origins. I
he
hated
doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking
I hate
about.
the combat. I hate the
It's the
movement.
same thing as City.
It just didn't feel the same.
It was exactly the same thing. There
No,
was
it,
nothing
it
different.
felt so blocky in that one. It didn't
Yep, I
feel.
disagree.
It didn't feel smooth.
The costumes were great. It was cool to actually explore the city and you go into the towers. The boss fights were incredible. You had Deathstroke, Bane, Copperhead, Firefly. Those were all great boss fights.
I don't know, man. City still had the best boss fights, I think.
You're going to talk about Mr. Freeze now.
Yeah, of course I'm going to talk about Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze had the best. Also, the Harley Quinn boss fight at the end of the DLC. Her boss fight was fantastic.
With the robots?
Yeah.
That was good, but that was DLC. I'm talking about main game.
Okay, the Mr. Freeze sneak fight.
And that was cool because it's like I like how they show you what to do at first, and then they never show you again. You got to remember. I've recently replayed that game on hard, and it didn't show me. And I remembered every encounter to kill him because in New Game Plus, you could when you fought him, he was even more hard. Like he would do more stuff to you. I mean, like the Penguin boss fight. You mean he didn't have an AK-47? He had a rocket launcher.
No, he also had a machine gun at a point too, with the rocket launcher.
No, he had the Mr. Freeze's gun.
You might be right. It's
I'm
been a
always
while.
right. Thank you.
No, that's
Just if you
not
want to record that, I'm always right.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, it was, and that fight though, because you thought when you beat him, it was the end, but no, you dropped down from the goddamn glacier, and then Seymour Grundy just shows up.
Solomon Grundy.
You know what? They changed the name in the one I'm remembering. Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy.
Kyle doesn't know his comic book facts. Sorry.
I'm not a DC. I like
am.
Batman, but I'm a Marvel fan.
I'm a DC fan at heart and
Do you
to
want?
death.
I can answer Marvel questions. You
No,
want to know?
please, no. We're not going into Marvel right now. So let's go to Knight. Now, Arkham Knight was an excellent game.
It was awful. They removed the really cool traversing they had.
Excuse me, really thought it was awful?
Okay, they took out the cool ass traversing they had with the grappling hook and gliding
It
around.
was in the game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you had to go do the stupid car sections.
Not all the time.
They kind of pushed you to it most of the
You
time.
didn't. I mean, only time you needed the cars when you had to do the tank fights, and you could literally go around the entire game without using the car the entire time. I've done it before. Don't tell me. Yes, that game is amazing. The story may not have been the best because it was predictable for comic book fans who knew what it was, who the Arkham Knight was.
Yep.
It was very, and they even introduced stuff into the game they haven't introduced before that made it even more obvious. But it didn't bother me because I thought the Arkham Knight looked sick, and I loved the design.
It was okay.
He's wrong.
It was a natural conclusion to a great start series.
It ended great too, and then the way it ended was good too with the Nightfall Protocol. Did you 100% the game I did?
I did not.
I got a platinum in that game.
I got so
That was
bored
the
of
only
that
game
game.
I platinumed. I
got
love that game. How did you get bored of that game? I don't get it. The combat is incredible in that game. The Predator fights are easily the best in the series in that game.
I don't know. I never liked it. After City, it just kind of went not the same. City was the perfect combination of systems, story, and characters. It
Okay,
had,
I'll give you that. I definitely think overall City is the best of the four.
Yeah, because it had.
But I think gameplay-wise, Knight destroys that game because they improved upon and graphics-wise too.
Well, graphics-wise, it came later.
Well, even then with the remake too, like because they remade the games, they still think it looked better. But I think maybe not story-wise because it didn't have as many twists and turns. I mean, I bet somebody who didn't know, I'm probably a pretty hardcore Batman fan. Like I've read almost every book. He's not like the older stuff, but like the most recent stuff, and like almost all the more popular books.
Yeah.
And I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm gonna get it back. And I knew what was gonna happen in the game just because I've read the books, but I knew one of the people I work with said like he didn't see it coming at all, and he was so shocked by the reveal in that game because he's a Batman fan, but he doesn't doesn't read it. Like he's like I call them media fans. They just watch the stuff. They don't read.
See, that's fun. But like City though, the City had the twist that no one could predict.
Yeah, no. Two twists back to back.
Yeah, two twists back to back that no one could
I
predict.
did not expect the Ra's al Ghul twist in that game. Though.
Really,
I didn't expect that when I played it.
You know, when it first came around, as soon as I found out Ra's al Ghul was in this one, I'm like, okay, he's gonna be the villain.
No, I didn't think he'd be the villain, to be honest. I just kind of assumed that he was
Well, it's just,
that he. I didn't even know he was in the game because honestly, Arkham City made me become a Batman fan.
really.
That game, like when I played that game, I remember I replayed it so many times because I learned more things about after I played Arkham City, I got Injustice, and then I watched Arrow, and that kicked off my DC fandom, and now I'm a hardcore DC fan.
That's also because they had this one thing is when you went through the entire game, you got like lore cards.
Yeah.
And it like
The riddle things, like you would scan the environments and they tell you like backstories.
Yeah.
Like I remember I watched this YouTube channel that was literally just going into the mythos of everything that was in it, and it was like an hour-long video. Like the thugs would say like things like, "Oh, I want to go to Bloodhaven. I don't want to be in Arkham. I don't want to be in Gotham anymore." And Bloodhaven is not, you don't even see it, but it's not. That's where Nightwing is based. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. I love.
Well, they also had every time you did. You also got lore cards on all the different characters, all the different suits.
And where they appear too.
Yeah, where they appear, where to start.
Their last appearance. They even had their last appearance too, which is sick.
Well, one of the things that also I think Arkham City did that the others didn't was also they got people to read the comics.
That's true. I got read the comics because of that game.
Because they really brought back Batman, which I also think they.
Well, I don't know if it ever really went away. I think it just evolved it into something brand new.
Yeah. Who knows? It was Arkham, the Arkham series title.
And also they have some of the best Easter eggs in video games. Also.
Oh, the Riddler challenges.
The Harley Quinn being pregnant.
Oh yeah.
The Scarecrow base that like literally like you would never even in the Asylum when they had the city one and you had to break the wall down.
Yeah.
There's a thing in Asylum where there's like this room you would never have guessed where it is. Both of these twists. There was none in City, none in Night, unfortunately. But in Asylum, they had this room where you had to like use your explosive gel 3 times. They were really close to each other, and it would break down to this secret room, teasing the next game.
Yep.
And then in City, there was this like random boat you go on, and you just look up and you could hack into the boat, and you see it was Scarecrow's like lair. It was so sick. I was like obsessed.
Oh, that's still not my favorite thing of just the random ass crocodile. Just
You mean Killer Croc?
Killer Croc.
That he says he smells death on you or something?
Yeah, he just shows up out of nowhere.
Well,
in
he
the
was a
middle of
boss in Asylum.
He was a boss of the Asylum. And
That was a good boss fight too.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. But in like City, he just, I smell death on you.
Yeah, that voice like that.
And then he just shows up and is like, haha, and then leaves. I'm like, thank you for your time. You are really appreciated.
Yeah, that's true. And then in Night, he is this gigantic crocodile that you fight in a DLC.
Yep.
Which is actually enjoyed those DLCs a lot.
Okay, you know what? I'll give it to you.
Those are good. Come on.
The Night DLCs were good.
You got the Killer Croc fight. You got when you fight Ra's al Ghul and you have Nissa.
Yeah.
Nissa al Ghul. Then you have the Mad Hatter one, which pretty much went through each game and like cool. And then the Freeze one, which made everything snowy.
Yeah. Love it or hate it, the Batman Arkham series were fantastic. They were a staple on video game history.
And they changed superhero gaming forever because look at the Spider-Man game. Copied a lot of the stuff from that game.
Yeah, it was totally inspired.
Even though Arkham Knight is still better.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Discussion for a different day.
So, from all of us here at OW Gaming, have a great day.
Bye-bye.